Oh, it's the birth of LCA. And look, we talked about it yesterday. It was the beginning of the playoff push. I just want to know when you're going to get on board here. This team's worth your time. We started the year saying it. We're saying it now. We'll get to the Lions at 3 because there's NFL news today that leaves Brad Holmes and the Lemming fan base no excuses. You have no out. There is nowhere to run. I will explain. And then we're probably going to war. Let's go right to the people, though. Roberto is the call screener today. I'm 90% sure someone just hurled an ethnic slur at him during the break.
Sir, if my dad owes you $50,000, take it up with him. I don't know what to tell him.
This is not a collections agency. It's a radio show. But Roberto will screen your call live. You can talk Italian food, all types of lifestyle plays, whatever you like. Let's go to or hair dye because that beard is electric. Let's go to Ben. 97.1. What's up, Benny?
What's going on, Mike?
How are you?
I had a question for you guys. Oh, pretty good. Not bad. Can't complain.
Yes, sir.
That emotion that Patrick Kane showed last night, do you think that was more on a personal level? Like, hey, hip surgery, 35 years old, I can still do this? Or do you think it was more of him saying, wow, this team, this arena, these fans, I'm buying in. I want to sign another 2-year extension here, and I want to bring home Lord Stanley. What's your guys' thought?
Ben, I think all of it's in play. Kenny, what was your take on it? I think it's hard for me to read into it, but Ben, that was a pretty electric place. That's the biggest goal he scored in a while. I don't know. Maybe it just got to him like, wow, I didn't think I'd be in an environment like this again. I don't know.
See, I think both things can be true. I think it's when you come back from the injury and the first time where you almost forget that you were injured and you just become that player. He was just a hockey player. He made a goal, and then he thought about, oh, my goodness, everything that took place before, in my opinion. I think that's where a lot of the emotion came in. It's like,
yeah,
you know what? I'm back. I feel like I'm me again.
Right. There's a little bit of me that wants, obviously, it's got its personal, side of it, but I want it to be about this team because I want him to stay here. And, I think with him on the team, it brings a whole nother level and diameter to the team. So I think it's all good, but I'm going to hang up, guys, and have a good day.
Appreciate it, Ben. Yeah, Kenny, what was your takeaway?
My takeaway from the Patrick Kane thing was this guy maybe thought at one point that he wasn't going to play hockey ever again. Now he scores a big goal in front of a whole bunch of people who just, you saw it on TV. The texters are confirming it. The most electric that place may have ever been.
It was the birth of the arena. The arena's been nothing but a soulless, gray structure. The only thing that makes an arena good is it's not a LED roof, even though I feel like we got hoodwinked. The point is, it's there has to be memories and moments that birth the building. I mean, think about it. No one, if you are younger and you were not a part of 06 with the Tigers in the World Series, right? And what that environment was like against the Yankees and against Oakland and then in the World Series. Like, if you don't, dude, I'm telling you, the night that Kenny Rogers dominated the Yankees in the rally towels, now you just see Comerica as a graveyard. Mm-hmm. But that's not what it is. So we're finally getting a chance to see what LCA can be.
Mm-hmm. No, you look at Ford Field and you saw how loud with the decimal meter, and it was like, wow, this became that place where you're seeing all the false starts, and you're seeing how the crowd affects the game. That LCA's always had that potential. And now I think with the Wings, you're about to see what you saw this fall go across the Woodward, and you're going to see it at the LCA.
Go to Tom, 97.1. Tommy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. You guys rock. I am still in shock. Last night, the game was amazing. The energy, what I saw Detroit do, they took perhaps the best transition hockey team in the NHL, and they had 4 guys all over the ice, and they just shut them down. Their back checking is improved tremendously over the past 2 months. And this is the type of team that, you take a look. This team can score. Now we're learning how to play defense. We're dropping, our goals against is coming down, below the threes when you're taking a look at where we're trending. So,
well, and it also helps you've got health at the goalie spot. I mean, you had some wicked injuries there for about a month where we were one step from having Roberto in net. So, like now to get Lyon back, to get some stability, it's all coming. Hey, Pepper, it's all coming together. Like let's make a move at the deadline. Let's add a little bit.
Absolutely. Yep, definitely. We need a box defenseman. We already have offensive defensemen, and no, this puzzle is coming together. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Tommy, all I want is when the NFL draft is in town, I want the Red Wings to have a playoff game. That's the goal. That is what, like, that is to me very what?
Wow. No, that would, I mean, logistical nightmare.
Well, it's going to be a nightmare no matter what. So I figure let's just turn it into a total hellscape and just blow it out.
You just want to go full Hunger Games, Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I just hell with it. Like,
really test the city's infrastructure. Let's see what we got here.
Dude, Taylor Swift tested it. The draft and a Red Wings home playoff game would just. You may as well set up a tent city at that point because ain't nobody going to be able to move. Let's go over to Nick, 97.1. Nick, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
The last time I paid attention to hockey was 2015. I left the state, hadn't really had a reason to seek out the Wings, and I think now they're bringing hockey casuals back in, and that's why you're seeing LCA light up the way that it is, and getting people excited again for the Wings.
And look, you know what, Nick, I never viewed it as an insult. I think outside of a very few American cities, which I don't think Detroit is one, you don't have enough dyed-in-the-wool hardcore hockey fans that you don't need the casuals to take your venue to the next level. That's not a shot. It's just hockey is a very difficult sport. If you don't grow up around it, if it's not your favorite sport, it's very hard to get into it. And Hockey Town, when the Wings are good, elite. When they're not, very average. So, yeah, Nick, the casuals, myself included, this is what it takes. This is the cost of admission.
It's a very niche sport. I mean, it's hard to get the outsider, the average sports fan who's like, I'll watch a little bit of this and that. It's harder to get those people in. And now that we have, you see what it looks like.
Yes. And again, baseball's the same way, guys. Let's take it a step further. How many ballparks sell out on a night-in, night-out basis when the ball club is average or bad? St. Louis, one. There aren't many towns. No. Hey, newsflash, Yankee Stadium was empty last year. When teams are good, the casuals come out. Like, the hardcore fan is a very small number.
Right. I'm trying to think. Dodger Stadium, no.
Oh, they spent $7 billion. You should go to the game.
Yeah. But, you get there at the fourth inning because of traffic.
Meanwhile, I got to listen to audio cuts of Scott Harris being like, oh, I lusted after Urshela all off season. Like the guy had a broken pelvis. You paid him $1 million. Like, what are we doing here?
He was the piece. I knew it.
Okay, I'll go to Cameron.
We had to get to him before all the other teams did.
Right, before everyone passed on him for a fifth time. Cameron, how are you?
What's going on, fellas?
Talk to us.
Hey, Kenny, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's the ticket going for Saturday against the Blues, 12 o'clock puck drop?
Probably a pretty penny. I don't have it in front of me. But
I'll take care of both these.
All right.
I got you covered. You continue with the call. I'll get you a number in 2 seconds.
Yep. So the Wings are getting ready to go on a run where they're going to play 4 teams where they have a better point total right now. So from here on out, I'm going to mark – I want you to put a game down in your calendar. February 29th against the Islanders, if the Wings find a way to win the next 3 games, which will put them at a 6-game win streak, and they go on to win that 7th game, mark my word, you will see a playoff atmosphere at Joe Louis Arena for the rest of the year.
I like it. By the way, cheapest ticket in the house is $56. I'm using Game Time. $56. If you want that next level of tickets, you can get lower goal, row 14, $100 bill. Now you want the premium stuff, the club seating, that's all $350 and up. But cheapest ticket is $58. Good seats, decent seats, about $100 bill.
And real quick on the the blue line comment, Mike, during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I think they need an enforcer. I think they need somebody that'll put their nose in the you-know-what when the going gets tough, because playoff hockey is totally different. It's attrition. You got to have you need somebody that can go in there and just throw elbows. So
All
I'm going
right.
to call and hang. I'll listen up, guys.
You got it, Cameron. No problem.
Appreciate it.
Kenny, give me an enforcer we can acquire.
Well, it's not even. I don't think this is the year to do that. That's a move you make when you're already assured a playoff.
You've made the conference finals, and
Correct.
you want a little more grit. As
Yeah,
they
you
say.
need that grease to help you get all the way. That's fine.
Get all the way to the cup.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a move we need to be making this year.
This year, just let's get to the table.
Get more sound defensively.
Kenny
get yourself
says
in
the
that
Wings
spot.
need to acquire Peter Worrell. All
Yeah,
right.
Get you a Chris Pronger, why don't you?
No, I mean it's
John Avery, get in there.
Man, yeah, I got some old school ones, but then I'll sound real old if I bring them up, so I'll just leave it alone. Basil McRae. All right, we're done. 248-539-9797. We're gonna give Connor the last word on this deal, and we'll move it along. Connor, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Connor.
I'm sick as a dog, home from work, but if you're going to talk hockey, I'm going to make my best effort to call in.
My man.
All right.
Now, looking back, I think it was 2018, Yzerman kind of threw down the gauntlet that the rebuild was over, and what he did was he traded for Ryan McDonough, who was probably the best defenseman on the Rangers. I think their captain, and although I don't think they won that year, but what it did is it signaled, all right, the rebuild is over. So I heard Kenny talking about okay, maybe this isn't the year for that. I argue the other way that, although it might not end up with a Stanley Cup, if we get a guy who's signed for another 2 or 3 years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's gonna show the whole world that the Wings are back. It's time to push for a cup. Might not be this year, but the rebuild's over.
I agree 100%, but I know you addressed it to Kenny. So, Kenny, go ahead. Last word is yours, brother.
No, I agree with the idea of if it's a longer term, if it's you sign him after you trade for him type of deal, then yeah, that totally fits because this is the timeline to win.
Yeah. I just, you know what, Connor, I think we're all like-minded on it, brother. And please feel better. It's just, if you want to keep waiting and waiting and waiting, there is no perfect time. And that's kind of my message coming up in 16 minutes. All these people who want to take this whole pragmatism, we're the smartest people in the room, we're going to have some problems because something happened in the NFL today that it leaves you no outs.
Hold on, let me write down what you're about to say in case I need to use them for receipts.
You petty MF.